Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the streaming Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where, for the past year, which, yes, I released my 52nd episode last week, marking my 1 year anniversary of starting this weekly podcast where I give you recommendations of previously released films streaming. And this time, shaking things up for our next year, where previously I picked three different streaming services. What I'm going to do moving forward is pick a single streaming service, give you three recommendations from that streaming service, giving you a little bit more of a focused kind of recommendation, but still giving you some variety in the different types of films that they have available. But let's dive in, and it felt only right to go with the streaming king that is Netflix to start this first episode of this new revamped version of things. But let's dive in. Let's go back to 1954 and with the psychological thriller from the legendary Alfred Hitchcock, starring Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly. It is Rear Window. And this is an engrossing film with impressive production design of this whole little closed off neighborhood in the city, and how we see into each of these windows, peeking into the lives of the different people, the dancing girl, the lonely woman, the potential killer of his wife across the way. And we have Jimmy Stewart, who is a professional photographer, L.B. Jeffries, who's held up because he has a leg in a cast. And his very elegant and high society girlfriend, Lisa Fremont, played by Grace Kelly, will come in and visit and such. You have Thelma Ritter, Stella, who takes care of Jeffries. But right across the way is Lars Thorwald, played by the late great Raymond Burr, who is suspicious. He's acting strange. Did he kill his wife? And this film is very voyeuristic. Stewart delivers a fantastic performance as a very flawed but also engaging man. Grace Kelly is elegant and beautiful as ever, and just really takes in the screen and just grabs it, snatches it right away from Stewart. But it's so fascinating with the camera work and how Hitchcock really encapsulates this community. And we see all the different elements of the people who live there and peek into their lives and their experiences. There's tons of tension, fantastic technical prowess that goes into this film, and plenty of mystery, twists and turns, and all leading up to a very, very explosive climax. And this film has fantastic acting, top tier direction, and such a fascinating premise and high concept idea that Hitchcock really leaned into and turned it into an all time classic. And this film certainly is one of the best in Hitchcock's filmography and certainly worth checking out. Now, something for a little bit different. Let's go to 1980. This is a film based off of an SNL skit, actually, more importantly, a musical performance. And this is The Blues Brothers, coming to you from director John Landis. Landis being such an influential figure with the Blues Brothers and other films from that era that he really made a splash with. But here we have the duo of John Belushi as Joliet Jake and Dan Aykroyd as Elwood, the Blues Brothers. You have Jake getting out of Joliet prison, Elwood picking him up in an old police car, and then they're on a mission from God. And they need to get money to save the orphanage run by the penguin, not that kind of penguin. The nun type penguin. Kathleen Freeman's sister Mary Stigmata, and save this orphanage along with Curtis Cab Calloway, legendary music performer. And you see so many familiar faces along the way, from John Candy to Frank Oz, and then all the performers like Shaka Khan and James Brown. And Aretha Franklin and all these amazing performers coming in. The musical performances in this film are incredible, whether it is James Brown, whether it is Aretha Franklin, whether it's Think, and you have John Lee Hooker and Cab Calloway himself, and so many great moments. And the Blues Brothers doing their own performances, whether it's, in a country western barn doing Rawhide. And the music sells itself. This is a really fun, engaging musical. But it's the humor too, because Jake and Elwood are just so much fun. There's so many random shenanigans, whether it's like a murderous ex of Joliet Jake, played by Carrie Fisher, or them being chased by the good old boys and, those damn Illinois Nazis. But this film also features the largest, most destructive car chase in the history of cinema up to this point. It is ridiculous. The climax of this film even has a nice little cameo from Steven Spielberg. And this film is just absolutely bonkers, absolutely ridiculous. But if you're ready for a good old time filled with music and laughs and just general absurdity, this hits all of those and delivers in so many ways. Lastly, we're going over to 1993. And this is an unexpected entry in the great filmography of an all time great filmmaker, Martin Scorsese. This is a period drama. It is The Age of Innocence, written by Edith Wharton and starring Michelle Pfeiffer, Winona Ryder, and Daniel Day Lewis. And this film is filled with incredible performers. Even you have the likes of Geraldine Chaplin, Richard E. Grant, Stuart Wilson, and Miriam Margolyes, and Michael Gough, and just so many other familiar faces that Norman Lloyd, all along the way. And but it's this key trio, this love triangle. You have the more fiery, seductive Michelle Pfeiffer, the much more straight laced and innocent Winona Ryder. And then just Daniel Day Lewis, probably being the most just Daniel Day Lewis British you're probably going to find. This English Irishman himself. But, this is not one of those performances of like larger than life Daniel Day Lewis, but he's still so amazing. And Pfeiffer and Ryder are just impeccable as well. This is such an unexpected entry in the career of Martin Scorsese, but the technical prowess is all there. This film has incredible production design, costuming, editing. It just breathes life into this high society New York 19th century tale. And just the dynamic of these great performers, the acting really sells each scene. This film is engrossing and romantic in also challenging in the ways that it looks at relationships and people falling in love. This is quite unexpected for Scorsese, but he finds the ways that he connects as a filmmaker into the story. This is a classic novel brought to life by a legendary filmmaker with some incredible talent and just impressive world building all around. This is an engrossing and engaging film that is certainly worth a watch. But that's a wrap on another episode of the Streaming Wasteland. Let's go in summation here. So head on over to Netflix and check out this weekend. You have 1954's Rear Window, 1980's The Blues Brothers, and 1993 The Age of Innocence. And make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite Hitchcock or Scorsese? Do you have any other SNL spin-off movies that you enjoy outside of the Blues Brothers? What's some of your more outside the box kind of musicals? Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM crew is always expanding. If you're looking to become a guest on a show or start your own podcast, make sure to reach out and become part of this crew with such a wide variety of different shows, so many things to learn and engage with. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland, streaming Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.